David Williams is president of the Taxpayers Alliance. We've got some tax day changes we need to know about. Morning, David.
Good morning. And boy, tax day is coming up, but it really has gotten lost in all this tariff talk, all the budget negotiations that are going on. But we're 4 days away from tax day, and it's probably one of the most frightening days of the year for a lot of people.
Yeah, not me. I go ahead and have my girl file the day I get my W-2s, and I had my tax returns 3 days after she sent them in.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Not as quick, but I try to do it late, in February just to get it over with for sure.
Yeah. Just so everyone knows, every call I've made this morning, the cell sound has been like this, so there's nothing I can do about it. So, David, what's new for this year? I mean, is something different that we should know about?
Well, the biggest concern I have is, and I think people should have, is that they're expanding the direct file program. Now, what the direct file program is the IRS prepares your returns for you. So that means the IRS says how much you're going to owe, how much you're going to get back. And I laugh when I say how much you're going to get back because the IRS, if they're preparing your return, well, they're going to give you as little as humanly possible.
Yeah, we already get as little as humanly possible.
They are not your advocate. The IRS is not your advocate in this process. And therein lies the problem, is that they're expanding this massive program. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars a year to run this program. And this is not the IRS's primary job. They should not be doing this. And there are plenty of companies, plenty of people, there's software that can prepare your taxes and ask you the right questions, right? That's what you want. You want someone saying, okay, how much in charitable donations? You know, if you own a home, what was the taxes you paid on your mortgage? Those are the questions that should be being asked. But the IRS, they're not going to ask those questions because they don't want to send you money. They want you to send them money.
Yeah. So is this a choice or is this a thing that is going to be mandatory?
Right now, it's a choice. My concern is that this is at some point going to become mandatory. And, you know, this is an agency that can't protect our information as it is. We've had major breaches. Some have been, quote, by accident. Others we know have information has been leaked about taxpayers. So I don't trust people at the IRS. And I don't think a lot of people that are listening probably trust a lot of IRS officials at this point. And they have software and hardware that is 40, 50 years old. So they don't even have the capability of doing this, yet they're expanding this. Now, last year, they started this program as a pilot program, and they said, 90% of the people that used it, they loved it. So what we did is we actually sent a FOIA, a Freedom of Information Act request, and we found out it wasn't 90% of the people that loved it. And we got every single response and a lot of open-ended responses. People were saying, I don't trust the system, the software, the security. Last year, I got a higher refund. My tax situation didn't change. I'm making the same amount of money, but once the IRS filed, I got $200 less. So exactly the sort of thing we were concerned about. But the IRS lied. They lied to Congress. They lied to the American public about the popularity of the program.
Yeah, I don't like the letters IRS. I mean, they strike fear in the hearts of every American just because we try very, very hard to follow the rules as they are given to us by our tax professionals or our tax preparers or how we understand them. But we get little to nothing back, and they take a giant chunk of money, and then the people who don't work get all the money back, and we sit here and scratch our heads. So something needs to be done about the IRS as a whole.
Right, and also they audit lower-income folks more than they audit higher-income folks.
Yep.
And this is not anecdotal. We have seen the reports. There have been numerous reports that if you live in a lower income area in Mississippi, they target people in Mississippi that are making $25,000 or less. I mean, this is insane. This is what the IRS is doing because they know that they can intimidate people. If you don't have the means, you can't fight the IRS. If you're Bill Gates or if you have enough money, you hire accountants, you hire CPAs, you hire lawyers to fight the IRS. People that are making $25,000 a year, they don't have those means, yet those are the ones that are being audited. I mean, that's shameful, absolutely shameful.
They should be ready, because when I was 23 years old, I got audited, and I was a waitress making $1.80 an hour, and they said that I wasn't claiming on my tips. I flipped out my little tip book that I kept where I wrote in a different pen every single day. I even had my menstrual cycle in that book. It was like a diary, and I sent it to them, and I said, here you go. And they said, why are your tips so low? I said, I'm a crappy waitress. So they couldn't fight me because I had documentation of every single time I had worked. So if people would just know to keep that little diary, if you are a waitress or if you are somebody who makes very little money, just make sure you document everything. They can't fight that.
Yeah, and there's a bigger issue going on here is the IRS wants more access to your financial information. We saw that a couple of years ago when they were trying to have people report their Venmo and PayPal transactions of $600, right? Because they want access to
Biden,
all of our... Yeah, that was, no, you're right. That was Biden, but this is the IRS trying to gain access into our banking information, and they want a direct line to that. And we have to draw the line somewhere. And this is where I draw the line, obviously.
Mm-hmm. If they had done that, I would have put $600 in and taken it out 3 times a day just to keep them busy. Yeah, that would have made me so mad. So, how do people learn more about the tax changes and what they should expect, David? Do you have a place they can go?
We do. It's protectingtaxpayers.org. The tax cuts are coming up for expiration at the end of the year. We have a page, countdown to the end of TCJA, so they can see all the resources we have there and what it means for them. So go to our website, protectingtaxpayers.org, and we just have a lot of information on taxes.
Stay on top of the rules. David William, he is president at the Taxpayers Alliance. David, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.